From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, after days of uncertainty, Peter Obi received certificate of return as Labour Party presidential candidate. Katsina State Police steps up operations to reduce crime. United Kingdom pledges £1 million to NDLEA. On the foreign scene, 15 dead, 13 injured in South Africa bus accident. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Diron Onifade. Presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, has received the certificate of return as the flag bearer of the party for next year's general election. The former governor of Anambra State received the certificate from the party on Friday. The party disclosed this via a tweet from its official handle. Before now, a faction of the party had also elected its own presidential candidate for the same election. But the Nigeria Labour Congress, through the national president Ayuba Waba and the Trade Union Congress on Thursday, maintained that it only recognizes the party's presidential election, which produced Obi as its candidate. As the countdown to the 2023 general election begins, following the conclusion of primary elections by political parties, Nigerians are shifting attention to manifestos of the candidates. In this report, Abubakar Abdullahi chats with Nigerians who share their expectations from flag bearers of political parties. The report.
With delegates' elections at party levels concluded, campaigns will, in the months ahead, be directed to the electorate as politicians seeking various offices try to convince voters to choose them during the elections. Although Nigerians are almost coming to terms with the fact that most campaign promises go unfulfilled, they are still hoping against hope that those who will emerge in the next election will address the myriad of problems facing the Nigerian electorates.
The political parties, almost all of them, have chosen their candidates for various elective positions ahead of the forthcoming 2023 general elections, starting with the House of Assembly to the National Assembly, governors, and even to the president. So what we expect any of them that may emerge at the end of the day after the general election is to fix the economy and security.
They said doing so will go a long way in ensuring that the challenges bedeviling the country are surmounted.
Now, what the people expect is good governance. So we expect that any of the party that will be victorious in the 2023 election should be able to do things that will go down well for the masses.
Whether those aspiring for leadership positions will heed the calls of the people to turn things around by embarking on policies and programs that would have direct bearing to the common man or not, only time shall tell.
The emergence of the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Tinubu, as the presidential flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and the PDP candidate Atiku Abubakar has continued to generate reactions from different quarters, as many see the contest as a clash of political titans, considering the capacity of both candidates. In this report, political actors and public affairs commentators tell Trust TV that the contest will be interesting. The report.
In May, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar emerged the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party for the 2023 general election by defeating 12 other aspirants in a keenly contested primary election. And within the week, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerged the flag bearer of the All Progressive Congress after polling 1,271 votes. Observers believe that despite the presence of other political parties in the race, the 2023 presidential election will be keenly contested between the APC and the PDP. The PDP has said Tinubu's journey will take him nowhere as he is no match for Atiku.
I have not seen any capacity in Bola Tinubu that will warrant a threat to PDP. Why you are talking of capacity of a candidate that can create a problem for a big party like PDP, you are talking of somebody that has a pedigree.
But to the ruling APC, Tinubu has all it takes to beat the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar at the polls.
So let us compare all their commitments to the general public. It is something open. Whatever Bola Ahmed Tinubu did or contribute to the national development, they are there to speak for him. And if Atiku did something in this aspect, they are there to speak for them. We are all civilized. We are educated. Now we are rating an individual candidate based on what he did.
The opposition party says the security challenges bedeviling Nigeria is a sign of failure of the APC government, which has made it less marketable to the Nigerian populace.
It's a clear indication that government has already lost the battle as far as insecurity is concerned. So it's a clear indication that APC has no any answer to the merit of security problems.
What we are suffering, what we suffered before, it was a bomb. Boko Haram. There was almost 18 local government between Maiduguri, Yobe, and which was captured by the Boko Haram. And after the emergence of APC with Muhammadu Buhari as a president, it has become history.
Despite the above analysis by the PDP, many are of the opinion that the contest will be a 50-50 affair for both candidates.
I think when we look at it is that both of the two parties, of course the two leading political parties in Nigeria, both of them have a very good candidates. So maybe we should say they are equally matched.
The contest can go any other way. It can go, any one of them can emerge as president.
The contest between Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC and Atiku Abubakar of the PDP is a contest that Nigerians are eager to witness. Who will eventually emerge the winner is a question only time will tell.
Meanwhile, some APC members have hailed the just concluded presidential primary of the party that produced Bola Tinubu as candidate, saying the party will coast to victory in the 2023 election. Members also call for unity among the party faithful for the party to retain power irrespective of contending interest. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
23 presidential aspirants went into the convention ground full of hopes, but 9 of them later pulled out of the contest, with 7 stepping down for Bola Ahmed Tinubu and 1 for Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. The other withdrew voluntarily. 14 aspirants slog it out at the ballot, and at the closer poll, 1 aspirant emerged, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Tinubu's victory is really a welcome development. His resilience, doggedness, and articulated investment in politics, especially in human development, has endeared him to all sections of the country, and his emergence as APC's flag bearer has comforted all party members that the course has been cleared for the party to win the next presidential election.
Party members are hopeful that the APC's flag bearer will lead the party to victory, irrespective of the challenges ahead.
We are going to abide by our constitution, APC constitution, and Nigeria's constitution, and then that of the PAC here. We have over 40 million people, APC members that got registered, and we have over 10,000 support groups supporting us nationwide. Yes. With this project is going to be as easy as possible.
They want other contestants and the party loyalists to work tirelessly for the success of the party, which will be contesting the nation's #1 seat, with other political parties aiming at wresting power from the ruling party. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Sidi Tunis, has congratulated Nigeria for the smooth conduct of primary elections across all levels by political parties. Tunis extended the congratulations during the opening of the 2022 first ordinary session of the parliament in Abuja. The speaker urged the Nigerian government, political parties, and citizens to sustain the tempo as the world looks forward to Nigeria conducting a free, fair, and credible general elections in 2023. Tunis also said that the 2023 elections is pivotal for the sub-region as member states, Nigeria, Liberia, and Sierra Leone would also be conducting their general elections.
As we inched closer to full-scale political activities, let me seize this opportunity to advise all actors on the need for additional tolerance in this anxious period of full-scale political activities. The sub-region, and indeed the whole world, looks up to Nigeria and expects a successful as well as a free, fair, and peaceful elections in early 2023. May I remind us that next year will be a very pivotal for democracy across the region, with elections scheduled to hold in 3 member states: the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. Our role is in ensuring that the democratic processes are conducted in a way that guarantees the best possible outcomes cannot be overemphasized.
Smooth transition has started. PDP has done all their primaries. The APC has also finished their own. You saw it. I think we have started, but we are not there yet. So I believe that 2 presidential candidates and other presidential candidates has now emerged. It's now late for the people to know whom they think they can give them dividend of democracy. They will elect the person when the time comes.
Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Sidi Tunis, and Obinna Ogba, a member of the parliament. Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello has donated an office to the presidential campaign of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He made the announcement on Friday during the visit of Tinubu in Abuja. Tinubu arrived in the company of former All Progressives Congress National Chairman Adams Oshiomhole. In response, Tinubu appreciated the gesture and promised to work for the party and country's unity. The meeting is part of the reconciliation moves following the outcome of the APC presidential primary. Bello was one of the several contestants beaten by Tinubu in the race to clinch the APC's presidential ticket.
But let's celebrate the joy. The joy that we have a country. Let's give respect to the dead. To the dead. The person of MKO Abiola, in whose democratic memory June 12th became a national holiday for us to continue to struggle. We will think, use our intellectual inclusiveness, build a nation of sound mind, sound people, elevate our people, extract them from poverty. There's no reason to be in abject poverty in this country. We are brilliant people. Let us wear the uniform of Kandu, the mind of those people who have built other nations.
Bola Tinubu, APC's presidential candidate. And fresh off his victory at the presidential primaries of the All Progressives Congress, winner of the contest, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, visited President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday at the presidential villa, Abuja. Tinubu was full of praise for the president, who he said did not at any time attempt to tinker with the process of the primaries to favor one ethnic group over the other. Kende Amodu reports.
The presidential candidate is accompanied on this thank you visit by Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his brother Wale Tinubu. Obviously elated, Senator Tinubu says the victory at the primaries does not belong to him, but to President Buhari, who is living a legacy of transparency and consistency and commitment to democratic principles and values.
If you have to give it to anybody yesterday, it's not my victory that is important. It's the process and the management of that election that gave it to President Muhammadu Buhari.
So what will be the selling point of a Bola Tinubu candidacy to the Nigerian electorate?
I'm brilliant, I am experienced from private sector to public sector and ready to hit the ground running same day and not mess up.
And what is his advice to members of the APC as a party prepares for the 2023 polls?
All APC family members should celebrate in a limited manner. We just begin hard work. The work ahead to win the victory for our party is a hard one, and we will win.
The next thing Nigerians want to know is who is Bola Tinubu's running mate at the polls.
I won't tell you that. That is my right.
The candidate says that information is in his pocketbook, which may infer that he already knows who it is. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
And away from the PDP now, or from the APC now, crisis is brewing in the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Kebbi State, following the emergence of Adamu Alero as the party candidate for Kebbi Central Senatorial Zone. A member of the PDP's Board of Trustees and aspirant for Kebbi Central Senatorial District, Haruna Saidu, has petitioned the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, over what he called unlawful conduct of primary election in the senatorial district. Adamu Alero was declared winner of the party primary with 246 votes against Saidu's 15 votes by the party returning officer Lawal Aliyu. However, in his petition to the electoral umpire, Saidu said 262 votes were cast in his favor, and to his greatest dismay, some individuals were sent to Kebbi to conduct an affirmation of Alero, who was not a member of the party when the primary election that led to his emergence was conducted. Kebbi Central Senatorial District comprises Brenin Kebbi, Meyama, Gwandu, Jega, Kalgo, Alero, and Bunza local government areas. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, will on Thursday or on Tuesday, June 14, swear in the newly elected area council chairman and their councillors. Press Secretary to the FCT Minister, Anthony Oguleye, said in a statement on Friday that the decision was as a result of a new judgment of the FCT High Court delivered by Justice Ibrahim, ordering the minister to immediately swear in the elected council officials. The court has set aside its earlier judgment delivered on Friday, May 13, granting a one-year extension of tenure to the outgoing chairman and councillors of the 6 area councils due to lack of jurisdiction. The judgment declares the way for the swearing in of the newly elected chairman. The statement appreciates all stakeholders for their patience and support and enjoins residents of the territory to remain calm and law-abiding in their daily activities. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has released an additional 209 machines in response to an unprecedented surge in the number of citizens that wish to register as voters. The machines are to be deployed mainly to the 5 southeastern states, Lagos and Kano, where the pressure is most acute. A statement released on Friday by the Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee of INEC, Festus Okoye, indicated that the sudden turnout of prospective registrants was overwhelming. The statement assured all Nigerians that every step will be taken to ensure that all eligible Nigerians are given the opportunity to register as voters. It insisted that every citizen who was 18 years and above had the constitutional right to register and vote in any part of the country without let or hindrance, and appealed for patience and understanding of all citizens. With just 3 weeks to the end of the ongoing continuous voter registration, CVR, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it is worried that over 20 million Nigerians are yet to collect their voter's card. In this report, Ibrahim Ismail examines the effect of voter apathy, which many blames as one of the reasons for non-collection of PVCs on the country's democracy. The report.
The Permanent Voters Card PVC enables registered voters to exercise their right to vote during elections. While many Nigerians have not registered for the PVC, millions who have registered are yet to collect their cards. Yakubu Yahya said he voted once in the 2015 election but destroyed his PVC over what he termed frustration caused by bad governance in the country. I am here at the INEC office just to accompany a friend, not for my PVC. My friend tried to convince me to register for PVC, but I won't. My national ID card is enough. I will not vote again in my life because we are the ones suffering on the queue to vote. The politicians are enjoying themselves. They always lie to us. On the flip side, some Nigerians who have permanent voters card say they are ready to participate in the forthcoming 2023 general elections.
Actually, I'm very ready for the election and I already have my PVC. So I just have 1 or 2 issues which I've already resolved with the INEC, that is regarding my PVC, but I've already cleared that one.
Actually, I do have my voters card and I'm fully ready to partake in the upcoming election. Now, the constitution itself of Nigeria has given each and every the right and also the qualities to be able to vote and to be voted for.
The National Orientation Agency, NOAA, Gombe State Office says boycotting the electoral process will compound the country's problems.
He cannot represent you if you don't have a voter's card. So you must get your voter's card so that you can vote the person you want in office so that he can represent you well. And anybody who is not representing you well, you can use your PVC to bring him back home.
To enthrone good governance, citizens must participate in the country's electoral process by voting good leaders to run the affairs of the country. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Now, away from political stories, an Ondo State High Court sitting in Akure, the state capital, has sentenced 3 persons to death by hanging for killing Olufunke Olakunri, the daughter of Afenifere leader Pa Ruben Fashoranti. Although 4 persons, Lawa Mazaje, 40, Adamu Adamu, 50, Mohammed Usman, 26, and Awal Abubakar, 25, were accused of the crime, the trial judge, Justice William Olamide, on Friday discharged and acquitted Awal Abubakar, while counsel to the 3 defendants says he will study the judgment to see if an appeal could be filed. The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Ondo State, Charles Titiloye, commended the judgment. Olufunke was shot dead on July 12, 2019, while traveling between Kajola and Ore along the Ondo-Ore Highway. The Ondo State government had in April 2020 arraigned them at a chief magistrate court sitting in Akure. The development came 1 week after police operatives announced their arrest. The then Force Public Relations Officer, Frank Mba, said they were arrested after the police established enough physical and forensic evidence linking them to the crime. The police in Katsina State have infiltrated a syndicate of terrorists and arrested 2 of its members who were caught in the act. Members of the law enforcement body also arrested several others as they stepped up efforts to reduce the rate of crime in the state. Abdullah Yamadi tells us more.
The police patrol team rescued the kidnapped victim Hajara Lawal unhurt, while one of the suspects, identified as Babaye, is currently at large. Investigation into the matter is ongoing, according to police authority in Katsina State.
The terrorists, numbering about 3 of them, armed with dangerous weapons, attacked the residence of one Sakina Sunusi of Rugar Usa village, Musa local government area, and robbed her of her money, the sum of 263,000 naira, a GSM, Bibo, valued 8,000, and also kidnapped her daughter, one Hajara Lawal, 18 years, into Bambama Forest.
The police also paraded a 20-year-old suspected armed robber and rapist, identified as Jume Bello of Jikamshi town in Musa local government area of Katsina State. Jume Bello Jikamshi, who have confessed to have committed the offense, is suspected of separately trespassing into the matrimonial homes of 3 women whom he attacked with knife, collecting handsets, money, and forcefully raping his victims. I did not rob any one of them, but I collected their money and their phones. I also have carnal knowledge of my victims with their consent. I'm neither a robber nor a rapist. That's all. In another frantic effort to reduce criminality, the police have arrested Usman Haruna Ruangodia in Faskari local government area, who is a member of the outlawed Yansake group. Usman Haruna is suspected to have conspired with others, Nasiru Ali, Adamu and Saadu, all of Ruangodi village, now at large, and killed an Okada rider, robbed him of his motorcycle. I and my friends trapped our victim, took him to the outskirts of Ruangode village and beat him to the point of coma. Later, he was confirmed dead at a hospital. That's all I know. Nemesis caught up with this suspect when he was accosted by the police along Bazari Road, where he lured one Abdullahi Bello, a commercial motorcycle rider, and strangled him with a cable wire. The suspect confessed to have killed many of his victims through the same modus operandi, and mentioned the duo of Abubakar Musa, alias Abu Abu, and Zahraddini, all of Dusuma local government, as members of his syndicate.
Notorious armed robber and a motorcycle snatcher who specializes in luring unsuspecting commercial motorcycle riders to lonely areas and strangle them using motorcycle clutch cable wire. This one, he uses this in strangulating his victims.
Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, stakeholders raise awareness on blood donation. Stay with us.
Residents of the Federal Capital Territory are hereby alerted to the activities of scavengers, also known as Babambula, which security agencies have identified as a high-level security threat to not only the residents but also to our infrastructure as they perpetrate petty stealing and acts of vandalism on public utilities. More so, they are drug peddlers, serve as spies to terrorist elements, and are ready-made tools for the public disturbances during which they attack people with dangerous weapons. The Federal Capital Territory Administration therefore reiterates that the ban on scavengers aka Babambula operating within the Federal Capital City is still in force. These miscreants are advised to stay off the streets of the Federal Capital City for their own good, as defaulters will be apprehended and prosecuted, including parents of underage children involved in these practices. Relevant agencies are carrying out enforcement of this ban as stipulated. Be law-abiding always. Let's together build the FCT of our dreams. Management Announcer.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. A look at our top stories. After days of uncertainty, Peter Obi receives certificate of return as Labour Party presidential candidate. And Katsina State Police steps up operations to reduce crime. Moving to other stories, car theft has become a recurring decimal in Jos, the Plateau State capital, with many of the victims being journalists. Ranked as one of the cities with high cases of car theft in the country, Dixon Adama in this report takes a look at the sophistication of the perpetrators as well as the impact on victims. The report.
More often than not, incidences of car theft in Jos usually take place when cars are locked. With recovery and almost impossibility in state, victims are left devastated as efforts towards recovering have over time yielded no results. The city has become notorious for car theft over the years, while a syndicate has been known to operate at the State High Court area. Reports say in the past decade, no fewer than 20 journalists in Jos have had their cars stolen. The reason for targeting journalists remains unclear.
I parked my car behind somebody, and another of my colleagues was behind me. My car was in the middle. Lo and behold, after like 45 minutes, we came out of the event and I didn't see my car.
In the night around 7:15 p.m., I was at the cyber cafe to send my reports. Immediately I left, entered the car. Initially, they had opened the car, started the car, but the car did not start, so they waited for me. I was in company of a colleague. We entered the car. Once if it's 6:30, usually once I enter the car, I lock the door. But because of him, he came in late, so I heard him made a sound. He said, So when I turned in, I just saw a gun on his head.
I had gone out to an area just to have a haircut, and after that, I did one or two things within that area, and I came out and didn't find my car.
Secretary of Nigerian Union of Journalists, Plateau State Council, Peter Ameni, bore his mind on the situation and what should be done to tackle it.
We sympathize with them for what happened, and we also joined the search, contacted relevant agencies responsible for handling such reports to see whether the cars will be recovered.
The United Kingdom has pledged to provide £1 million worth of support to enhance the operations of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in 2022, and additional provision over a period of 3 years. This was disclosed by the Director, Home Office International Operations, Nick Fowler, when he led a delegation from the office on a courtesy visit to the Chairman and Chief Executive of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, on Thursday, June 19. According to a statement by the Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, Marwa had, in his welcome remarks, expressed appreciation to the visiting UK team and the British government for past support to NDLEA. He said with the expansion of the operations, the command structure and staff strength of the agency, it would need more support and collaboration from the UK government. In his response, Fowler, who commended Marwa for the huge success NDLEA has become under his leadership, said the agency has been able to play a significant role by intercepting loads of illicit drugs going to the UK, and assured that his office is now well positioned to share intelligence with NDLEA. The Nigerian Navy said it has intensified efforts in the fight against illegal bunkering and oil theft activities. Commander NNS Pathfinder Suleiman Ibrahim disclosed this to journalists at the illegal crude oil market, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The report.
In line with the mandate of the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gombo, to maintain zero tolerance for criminal activities within the Nigerian maritime environment, the Nigerian Navy has busted an illegal crude oil market located at Couthon Channel near Obumakiri community in the Gema local government area of Rivers State and recovered an unspecified amount of crude oil siphoned from a manifold in the area. Commander Ibrahim explained that the feat was achieved following a ground and aerial operation code named Operation Dakatar Dabarau, which means Stop the Thief, which was launched by the Chief of Naval Staff on April 1st, 2022 in Oni, River State.
Just behind you, there is where we refer to as a market square. That is over 50 square kilometers where stolen crude is illegally cooked. But along the line, we were very curious to find out where the source of the crude oil that they take to Market Square to cook, where does it come from? Our tactical riverine squadron was able to identify the source of the crude oil theft. Then with the aid of the helicopter, so we're able to deploy. And then when we got here, we discovered 4 boats, but one has sunk already. So 3 of them are still floating, and we've equally discovered the manifold where this product is being stolen from.
Commander Ibrahim, while reaffirming its determination to end the theft, stressed that the Navy has resolved to deploy all necessary measures to checkmate the ugly trend in the Nigeria's territorial waters.
The Nigerian Navy has launched an operation which, in the first instance, is going to be for 90 days, and then after that, we'll do a reassessment, and then if there's a need to extend, that will be done. And the JTF equally has launched Operation Octopus Grip. So these 2 operations are running concurrently. So as it stands, there are 2 ongoing operations, all aimed at boosting crude oil production for Nigeria, and at the same time, stopping all of those people that have made it a part of their lives to steal and deny the nation its legitimate earnings. I would call upon them to desist. You know, there are so many initiatives by the federal government, by the state government, for them to do something meaningful. Because at the end of the day, the Nigerian Navy would not allow this thing to go on.
Adding that troops were currently on the trial of the fleeing suspects and their collaborators.
Away from crime, at least 2,000 intending pilgrims from Kebbi State will perform this year's Hajj after 2-year absence due to COVID-19 pandemic. Hamza Galadima reports that the State Pilgrims Welfare Agency is already processing travel visas for the intending pilgrims. His report.
With the recent approval by the Saudi Arabian authorities for the commencement of the documentation for intending pilgrims for the 2022-2023 Hajj operations, the Kebbi State Pilgrims Welfare Agency has set in motion a process through which applications for visas by intending pilgrims are processed in time to be forwarded to the Saudi Arabian Ministry of Foreign Affairs so as to procure their visas in time for the Hajj later this year. With a little over 2,000 intending pilgrims to process, the officials of the Kebbi State Pilgrims Welfare Agency have already gone far in the process of documentation. While on the other hand, vaccination against COVID-19 has reached advanced stage, as vaccinations against the dreaded virus is one of the requirements for a pilgrim to procure travel visa for the year's Hajj operation. Speaking on the preparations so far, the Director of Computer Operations and its units, Alhaji Umaru Ladan, said out of the over 2,000 pilgrims, the unit has so far processed over 80% of the travel document, as this year the process has been simplified and made easy by the Saudi Arabian authorities, with copies of travel visas allowed to be printed in the respective state pilgrims' offices across the country. Also speaking on the operations, the state chairman of the Hajj Guides Association, Zayanu Sanka, said already they have conducted series of workshops for intended pilgrims on the new rules and regulations introduced by the Saudi authorities, as well as brief them of all requirements in the efforts to make them ready for the operations in the Holy Land.
Indeed, even yesterday we have flagged off the workshop for our pilgrims. It is aimed at teaching them the new regulation introduced by Saudi Arabia and how to avoid getting into problems.
According to officials of the Kebbi State Pilgrims Welfare Agency, this year's operation is going to be unique, as the Hajj has not been performed for 2 years now due to the COVID-19 virus protocols. Hamza Galadima Zuru, Trust TV News from Birnin Kebbi.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration has promised to give the FCT contingent to Saudi Arabia for this year's Hajj a memorable experience. FCT Minister of State Ramatu Tijani Aliyu gave the promise while addressing the first batch of the 410 pilgrims to the Holy Land at the permanent Hajj camp, Basan, Abuja. The minister said despite the new policies introduced by the Saudi Arabian government and relevant authorities after the COVID-19 pandemic, the FCT administration was proactive in ensuring that all intending pilgrims complied with relevant policies to participate in this spiritual exercise. She enjoined the pilgrims to pray for Nigeria to overcome all our challenges. In his remarks, Director FCT Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, Mohammed Nasiru Dammalam, said the board had approved a total number of 1,995 pilgrims from FCT to perform this year's Hajj. The universal need for access to safe blood as a critical aspect of care and public health, especially in low and middle income countries, has again come to the fore. This comes on the heels of the 2022 World Blood Donor Day, as stakeholders aim to raise the global awareness on safe blood and blood products for transfusion. Dashan Husseina Usman has more.
World Blood Donor Day is marked on 14th June each year. The day also provides an opportunity for governments and national health authorities to provide adequate resources and put into place systems and infrastructures to increase the collection of blood from voluntary and non-remunerated blood donors.
Today we are here to commemorate World Blood Donor Day in collaboration with National Blood Transfusion Center. We are at Pape Junction to sensitize people about the importance of giving blood or about the importance of donating blood. So there is need to donate blood, you know. Like the theme for this year says, giving is an act of solidarity. There is need because every day in the hospitals, every day in the world today we live in, we have incidents, we have outbreak, we have war, we have different things happening, and we have people in emergency that are in need of that blood. So there is need to have a secure blood bank that is readily available in case of emergency, in case of any incident. So that's why it's very important that a nation should have the blood ready available to help the healthcare system.
These donors are excited at the prospect of saving lives.
That's the second time because my brother was sick. I donated blood from him since 2008. But this is the second time now but since then I've never donated any blood again from him. So I'm feeling okay. I'm not feeling anything.
Initially, I used to feel like there is no need to even donate. Maybe I don't know where my blood is going to. So, but I just decided to just donate today. Maybe I can save a soul.
On World Blood Donor Day 2022, the World Health Organization is calling on people around the globe to give blood as a gesture of solidarity. WHO further calls for regular voluntary blood donations as a simple but selfless step that everyone needs to take to strengthen their communities, support local health systems, and save lives. Darshan Hussaina Usman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has predicted cloudiness and thunderstorms from Friday to Sunday across the nation. NIMET's weather outlook released on Thursday in Abuja predicted cloudy skies on Friday with intervals of sunshine over the northern region. According to NIMET, there are chances of morning thunderstorms over parts of Kebbi, southern Borno, Adamawa, and Taraba. Chiamaka Nwafo tells us more.
The agency forecasts cloudy atmosphere over the inland cities and the coastal states of the south, with chances of morning rains over parts of Ogun and Lagos. NIMET envisaged thunderstorms over parts of Osun, Ondo, Ogun, Oyo, Edo, Abia, Enugu, Ebonyi, Imo, Bayelsa, Cross River, Rivers, Delta, and Lagos later in the day. According to the agency, cloudy atmosphere with intervals of sunshine is expected over the northern region, with chances of thunderstorms over part of Taraba and Adamawa during the Saturday's morning hours. NIMET anticipated prospects of thunderstorms over parts of Katsina, Borno, Adamawa, Taraba, and Kaduna State later in the day. The agency forecasts cloudy skies on Sunday with intervals of sunshine over the northern region, with chances of morning thunderstorms over parts of Sokoto, Gombe, Bauchi, Adamawa, Taraba, Yobe, and Borno states. According to it, prospects of thunderstorms are expected over parts of Borno, Adamawa, and Taraba state later in the day. NIMET said, following prediction of strong winds to precede the rains, unsecured objects and weak buildings might be blown away. The agency therefore advised the airline operators to get updated weather reports from NIMET for effective planning in their operations.
President Muhammadu Buhari has assured that his administration will continue to take advantage of digital technologies to transform every sector of the economy. The president gave the assurance while inaugurating the 27-member Presidential Council on Digital Economy and E-Government, headed by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, at the State House. Buhari also tasked members of the council to work towards further strengthening the capacity of government to develop, adopt, and deploy digital technologies to make government more efficient and transparent, thereby improving Nigeria's global standing in the Ease of Doing Business Index. The president said the council, whose members had been arrived at after a painstaking and thorough process, would provide the oversight needed to bring about a veritable structure for accelerating achievements in digital economy and in the implementation of e-government in the country.
The creation of the Council takes place today. However, the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, has been implementing activities in these areas for about 3 years as part of the mandate of the ministry under his supervision. This Presidential Council will provide the oversight that will bring about a veritable structure for accelerating our achievements in Nigeria's digital economy and in the implementation of e-government in the country. I launched the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy on the 28th of November 2019 and expanded the mandate of the then Ministry of Communications to include digital economy.
Consider it as a great honor for us to be here before Mr. President for the inauguration of the Presidential Council on e-government and digital economy in Nigeria. His Excellency, Mr. President, may recall that on 28th of November 2019, this journey commenced at the International Conference Center in Abuja here, where Mr. President personally launched and unveiled National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy. In that policy, it has been clearly mentioned the need for establishing a presidential council that will coordinate the development of our indigenous digital economy.
Now to the foreign scene. 15 people were killed and 37 injured on Friday when a bus collided with a truck on a South African highway near the capital, Pretoria. An emergency services spokesman, Thabo Charles, says. The accident happened before dawn and rescue workers were called at 5:05 a.m. 8 women and 7 men died at the scene, while 37 others were taken to the hospital. The road was closed throughout the morning, while an investigation into the accident's cause has been launched. South Africa's roads are among the most developed on the continent, but safety remains an issue. The United States on Friday announced that COVID-19 tests would no longer be demanded for international travelers arriving by air, a major step in the country's gradual lifting of pandemic restrictions. White House Assistant Press Secretary Kevin Munoz confirmed the news on Twitter, with U.S. media saying the testing requirement would end this weekend after strong lobbying from the travel industry. All passengers had needed to show a negative COVID viral test taken shortly before travel or proof of having recovered from the virus in the past 90 days before they boarded their flight. Munoz said President Joe Biden's work on vaccines and treatments had been critical to easing the travel restrictions, adding that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention would continue to evaluate COVID data amid a recent rise in cases. Let's now join Adeni Ajishafe for sports updates.
The Nigerian national women cricket team, Yellow Greens, have beaten the Brazilian women's team in their opening match at the ongoing 2022 Kwibuka T20 International Women's Tournament at Gahanga Cricket Stadium in Rwanda. They edged their South American opponent by 8 wickets after winning the toss and opted to field at the third match of the event. The Yellow Greens held Brazilian women to 53 all out in the first innings with a well-coordinated bowling order. Abdulrazak Rukayat with 4 wickets, Esegbe Rachel had 3 wickets, while Samson Rachel and Lillian Ude had 2 and 1 respectively. In the second innings, it only took the Nigerian women 10.5 overs to put up a 56-run total and get the first victory in the bag in the Kwibuka campaign. Coach of the national women's team, Leke Oyede, says the team will improve as they play more matches at the best of the team is yet to come. Rwanda lost to Uganda by 6 wickets, while defending champion Kenya beat Botswana by 35 runs. And in athletics, Nigerian contingent scooped 3 medals comprising 1 gold and 2 silver on day 2 of the ongoing 2022 African Athletics Championship holding in Mauritius. Sprint hurdler Tobiloba Amusan finished first in 100-meter hurdles, clocking 12.58 ahead of Liberia's Lee Ebony Morrison, 12.77 seconds, and Marion Fowry of South Africa, 12.93 to win gold medal. Amusan won the title 4 years ago at the 21st edition of the championship in Asaba and has now become the third Nigerian after Mario Sifo, 1984 and 1985, and Gloria Alozie, who won in 1996, 1998, and year 2000 to defend their titles. High jumper additional Temitope won silver behind Ghana's Yeboah Rose on countback of 1.79 meters, while the 4x400-meter mixed relay team won silver medals to make it 3 medals on day 2. That's sport news. I am Adini Ajishafe.
And with that, we've come to the end of News Hour on Trust TV. For more news, connect with us across all our social media platforms. I am Deron Onifade. Have a wonderful weekend.